windy. All right, so the mechanic came, removed a bunch of parts of the rest of the hoses, and I'm taking all these miscellaneous home so I can scrape them, paint them. So here's the starter, the water pump. The water pump, I have to buy a new one. The transmission cover plate, one of the brackets for the oil filters, some of the tools, the fuel filter, the screws and bolts and more brackets, the water pump, this whole water pump, and man, it's windy, like the water's banging and rocking, everybody is. So I went and got, he called me, he says I need a 4x, so I went and got a 10-footer and cut it to 8 because it didn't fit in the car, and we put it across the, we open up the hatch here, and he hooked up a chain to it, and he already had disconnected the tranny, and there are the filters and stuff, those are new. So now the engine is already disconnected, and we got a chain connected to it. Remove the water pump from the front, all the hoses. This is the hose that comes in from the ocean, and we couldn't turn off the valve. It's deep down there, so we decided to bring it up above water level, and there's no water coming in. And I already had removed the manifolds and the exhaust and all that stuff. So now it's get it ready for a shop to fix it. And he bolted a couple of screws on the base on one side. I don't know if you can make it down there on the bottom, down there at the bottom, and then one on the other side. So all the yard got to do is just hook it up to the chain and yank it out. That's it, ready to go. It took him about, he got here about 9:15, or by 1 o'clock he was done. And I bought him lunch and everything. So the engine is ready to be pulled. Now I gotta find a shop that gives me a decent price, and I've gotten decent prices. The thing is that when I start talking about the engine, like this guy, he quoted me $2,800 to do the whole engine, and I said, remember, it's a boat engine. He goes, yeah. And I said, the gaskets cannot, the head gasket cannot be automotive gasket. They have to be marine, you know, stainless. And he goes, yeah. And I said, and the stamps, they have to be deep cup, so oil doesn't burn. Okay. And then I said, and it's a left turning engine, and that's when he froze. He goes, what do you mean? And I said, all engines turn to the right, right? He goes, yeah, okay. This one turns to the left because the cam is cut reverse. And that's when he froze, and he's going like, and I said, all right, listen, let me have a cam. So he brought a cam out. All right, let's say this is the cam. And I said, you see the gear on top? They're all leaning to the right. Well, the gears on the reverse cam have to lean towards the left, right? And he didn't start backpedaling, but he kind of froze right there because and I said, you know where to get that? He goes, well, you know, I'll call around, and and I said, okay, this guy is good with autos, but apparently he hasn't done a boat. So, and then I looked at the shop first. The shop is good. He's got it pretty well organized. It's pretty packed with stuff. It's got blocks and cams and, you know, flywheels and you name it. It's got everything hanging, finished and everything. But I saw a couple of lathes, but he didn't really show me the boring out machine, and he didn't show me the machine that cleans the block, and he said something about steam. But the other shop told me that they bead blasted. So they bring the block down to the iron. They remove paint, primer, any oxidation, any rust. They remove everything. I don't think he has that. And the other shop quoted me $3,500. Apparently he knows what to do there. I forgot to mention about the left turning engine. So I gotta call him or show up again. And I'm gonna take those parts that I showed in the back of the car and I say, okay, what do you charge me to sandblast all the stuff that is not on the block? It's just additional. And let's see if it gives me a price, and I'll just leave the stuff there. And I'll clean up the screws with my wire grinder and, you know, on the bench, and then get everything clean and ready. And then if I need to replace some bolts, I'll do that. I'll get some stainless bolts, you know, get it ready for the ocean. And then there's another shop in Lomita. This guy's gonna tell me the name of the guy I need to see several places and see several quotes. The $3,500 guy didn't want to bring down the price at all. He says, no, you know, I gotta pay taxes, he tells me. And I said, yeah, everybody does. So let's see, you know, the one for 28, he's been doing it for 20 years. The one for 35, he's been doing it for 33 years, I think. So everybody got experience. It's just that I want to see if the shop is busy. If it's kind of laying around, and you know, it means if they don't have work, it means that they're no good, right? I got, you know, once the engine is out of the boat and I take it to one of these shops, it's going to be out of my hands. And if they do a shabby or a cheap job, and then once I place it back on the boat and the engine starts giving me problems, this is not a trailable boat. And I told him, I said, listen, if something happens with the engine, I can't be pulling this thing out and putting it back in. That's ridiculous. It costs a lot of money to do that. And it's a hassle. So everything has to be done by the book. And that's what I'm looking for. Some guy that gives me confidence that he knows what to do. He knows where to get the left turning cam. And he knows where to get all this marine stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do the shopping, bring it to them, and then if I get something wrong, they're going to blame it on me. Then I have to return it. I'd rather them do the shopping, buy the stuff, put it in the engine. If it doesn't fit, then they're going to have to refix, you know, get another part. If they get the wrong cam or a different length or whatever happens, they're gonna have to take care of it. But if I start bringing in the parts and they don't fit, different engine or whatever, then it's going to be on me. It's going to make it more difficult and more work for me. All right, guys, so that's it for now. All right, guys, it's the next day and I've been working on the parts that I removed from the boat and everything, and I just painted the alternator, and I'm cleaning up all this stuff. I painted the starter, which wasn't that bad. The starter's only a year and a half or so. I gotta strip and paint all these, you know, the water pump, the elbows, and I think I'm gonna take this stuff to a shop that they can bead blast it. And I'm gonna paint the tank again. And then on the exhaust, I've been applying this rust remover, dissolver, and it works pretty well. I already tried it, and so you just brush it on and let it sit there for 10-15 minutes. And when you come back, that rust is pretty much dissolved. All you got to do is wash it off. It was it was pretty easy. So, all right. Also, the other day I took an engine to a friend of mine, and in his desperation to open the latch, he broke my latch. So I had to remove the back cover and strip the plastic. I was gonna replace the plastic because it was already broken, and then I can reach in and pull on that latch and open it so I can get to the parts because they were locked in there. So let's see what I have. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of brackets and stuff for this stuff for the tank. I'm gonna take it to the guy, see if he can beat blaster for me. And the fuel filter is there. So I've been cleaning and painting the bolts on that. I'm gonna let it sit and I'm gonna go inside because I've been at it all morning. It's almost 12 o'clock. It took me a while to remove this thing from the gate there. So I already looked it up online. I bought the trim and I wanted to see the latch so I can match it and then buy it. It's gonna come out to $40 or something like that. So the engine is already disconnected. You saw in the video. Oh, here's the latch. Look at this guy. He broke the plastic. He just went yank because it was locked. And I'm trying to unlock it, but he's you know. Anyways, I'm still shopping for a shop to see if I can get a mid-range price in between 28 and 35. I'm gonna go to this guy. If he does everything for the same price, then I'm gonna use him. I'm gonna say, okay, you got the job. Okay, let me paint this side. And for the engine stuff, I use this 550 temperature engine enamel. All right, let that sit there. All right. I'm gonna touch up the starter one more time. This is like the third coat. Just turn it that way. The more coats of paint, the better the protection. All right. Let me go inside for a minute. And then I was thinking, well, at least here, I'm gonna talk to him and I'll know the deal. And I said, I'll tell you what, remove the heads from the truck. I'll take it to a shop. I found a shop. They do a pretty good job. And then when I have him back, you can come and reinstall it. He's probably gonna go for it. So I'm gonna kill several birds with one stone. Definitely. Well, taking a break. I just finished painting the exhaust. I was gonna take it to get it bead blasted, but they weren't that bad. So I cleaned them, scraped them, brushed them with wire, gave it a few coats of primer and a few coats of paint. They're there in the sun drying. And then I'm gonna put them away in the garage. And then the other stuff, I'm gonna take it tomorrow to a shop. I got a call today. Find out, see what they want. Hey, what you doing? And then I'm gonna call the guy that he does some work for me. I'm gonna tell him to go down there and clean the bilge and paint the bilge, paint the tranny. Now that it's easier to get to stuff, and he could probably paint underneath and the gearbox and that kind of stuff. And I'm smoking my father's cigar, Garcia and Garcia. It's got a mild taste. I think this is the first time. It's a Belicoso, which is pointy. And it doesn't have as rich flavor as the Camacho or the Flor de Antilles. But we got a lot done. We got a lot done on the boat. I'm pretty happy about that. Might as well get it done, you know. All right. I'm gonna kick back here for a little bit and then go inside because okay, so got everything done and painted. Everything came out pretty good. for doing it by hand. So the exhaust manifolds, these are only like 2.5 years old, so they're in good shape. They're in good shape. And that one there, that's the starter and the alternator. Give it, everything has 3 coats. I'm gonna give it more coat because I ran out of paint. I only got about a little bit of paint left, so I can put them up there and give them some more paint. But today I'm gonna go to the guy that does the engine, and I called him up and I told him I wanted to bead blast, and he says he's got a sandblaster. So see if we can do these, because the brackets are really all rusty. You know, all the stuff from this is for the alternator. So let's see if we can get anything clean. We got all this other stuff here too. So we'll see. And I got here my book with the list of things to do. So I scratched off quite a few. Come on. Hey, come on, let's go. You wanted to come outside for a little bit. Okay, so I'm cleaning the parts. I went and got a new brush for my grinder. And these parts are aluminum. So I cleaned them pretty good. I need to get some primer and paint them. These I'm going to take to the mechanic so they can sandblast it. And then I think I'm going to... I just took out the bolts. I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not, but I got to remove these plugs and replace them on the other. I'm buying a new pump because that pump, who knows how old that is. And I've been touching up the exhaust manifolds because I noticed that the bottom side were pretty burnt, so they were lack of paint. So I'm just gonna waste this can. There's not much left, and just touch up the bottom here. Barely making it. That's it. That's done. Let it dry up. I went and took the dog walking, and for the past week I've been getting this little painful sensation in the back of my heel. You know that tendon that goes back there? It's kind of tender. The tendon is tender. So I'm gonna smoke me a cigar. Got my coffee. It's a Macanudo Maduro. I got one more left. I went to a dinner with some friends, and I gave these out. And a new friend that I met, gave him one. He says, not bad, like it. I had an Ashton. I didn't save the tag. The Ashton, even though it cost me $24, it's incredible. I paid with shipping and everything, I paid $154, and then I said, wait a minute. I started counting the cigars. I didn't even have 20. Anyways, the Ashton, I wanted to try it because I've seen some reviews and some people say that it's good, but never heard of it. But I said, all right, I'll fork out I'll pull the trigger on it. And it didn't impress me. I don't even remember what it tastes like. And that was Saturday. So this one, I think I'll buy some more. and it's not 24 bucks. I was talking to a friend of mine in Florida, and I told him I bought a bunch of new cigars that I never had before. And he says, "Oh, I smoke the same cigar all the time." It's called the Cuban Round, I think it is. And I said, "I've had that cigar. That cigar doesn't really have a lot of flavor." "Oh no, but I don't. I'm not. I'm not gonna spend a lot of money on cigars." Legal, dude. What you're doing is like, if you're smoking the same cigar, you're not experiencing the cigar variety that there's out there. It's like having the same steak every day, and that's all you're gonna eat is the same steak every day. You're not gonna try anything else, but you're gonna have the same steak. No, man, it's supposed to be, variety is the spice of life. You know what I mean? So, anyways, going back to the bulk parts, I'm buying a new pump, and I'm dreading that pump never leaked on me, never. It looks like shit though, but it never leaked on me. And I'm dreading I'm buying a new part that I know is made in China, and then I put it on the board, and the freaking thing starts leaking in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna go to Napa and see if I can get better. Maybe they got better quality if it's made here. I doubt it. Everything is made elsewhere. Um, but I'm gonna put a new pump in. I think I'm gonna get a new pulley uh, housing because that one looks. I could probably save it. I'll scrape it up and I'll run it on my wire brush there and see if it comes alive, and I can reuse it. So now I got the engine is ready to go. It's sitting in the center there with the chain ready to be lifted. And but I don't want to do anything until I fix my tailgate. And the guy asked me today, he said, "What happened to your tailgate? It wasn't like that before." He goes, "Yeah, my friend just yanked it and broke it." So I gotta fix that, and then I have to make an appointment with the yard, and then I gotta get a friend of mine because she's working during the day. She cannot go, and I don't want to do this on the weekend because I think Saturday they only work half a day, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to get it off the truck on a Saturday. Then I'm gonna have to drive around with this thing behind me, the engine inside the truck. So I gotta do it during the week. So I got a friend on the way down there. I'm gonna pick him up and say, okay, um, drive around, park at the yard, drop me off at the boat. I'm gonna get Boat USA to tow me, and I'll be on board over there. Pull it, place it on the truck, and then tow me back. I have to make a cradle out of wood. So when it sits on that, I'm gonna make it out of 4x4, and then I'm gonna have long wood screws, and I got my little impact wrench, and I'm just gonna go when the bases sit there on the wood, then I'll go and that'll keep it tight, and it's not gonna be sliding and rolling or anything. I still gotta remove the oil from the pan. So I got a heat gun that I can't find. I know it's in here with my shed somewhere. I gotta look. So I can heat up the bottom so I can suck up the oil. Because that oil is brand new. Brand new. I mean, you guys say, "Oh, don't be cheap, but buy new oil." But if it's new anyways, I put it in and I ran the engine one time maybe for 3 minutes. I can reuse it. The filters are new also. The fuel filter is new. The two oil filters are new. Everything's new. So I still gotta do a few miscellaneous before I can say, okay, let's pull the block out and take it. I gotta do a few things. All right, so we're coming along with the project. And then the truck is next. I gotta get that truck running. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep working. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.